Okay, guys, I want you to see if you can remember a time when you felt under stress. You were worried about something, afraid of something, just felt a lot of strong emotions, super sad about something. I want you to think about the way that your brain and body felt and see if you can relate to how my glitter jar here. Did your brain feel like this? Like everything's just scattered and crazy and spinning around, right? That is what your amygdala, remember the watchdog in your brain? That's what your amygdala does to information. Whenever we have thoughts or feelings that we need to sort through, the amygdala sort of just scatters everything up like glitter in a jar and makes it really hard to think about what the best choice would be. I've felt that way before, and I bet some of you have too. And it just makes it hard for us to think. But then if we can find a way to calm down those thoughts in our mind and to calm our bodies down, we can learn to notice what our body's doing. In that moment when everything's spinning, if we can have something that we know that we can do right then that can help us, then instead of this spinning like the glitter jar had before, our brain will be more like this. See? So it'll be more settled. So you can see again, some of the glitter starts to swirl. And then if you can have a habit or something that's going to help you to calm it all down and relax your mind and your body. And I'm going to teach you a couple of things that you can do every day that are going to help you just to settle that glitter in your head, settle all those thoughts and feelings in your head. I want you to think again for a minute about that glitter in the bottle when it was spinning all around, just like our thoughts and our thoughts do in our head sometimes, and feels like we can't make a good decision. It's hard to be a good boss of ourselves because we're feeling so much in that moment and our thoughts are just all over the place. So because that's our guard dog that's trying to keep us safe, we are going to have to find a way to calm him down. In that moment, we're going to have to do something that's going to help us to be able to switch over to our prefrontal cortex so that we can think and make decisions that are going to help us be a better boss of ourselves. So one thing that you can do is deep breathing. And I bet you've heard of this before, but I wonder how many of us have actually practiced it or think about it when they're having a hard time. And I know sometimes it's hard for me to do it when I'm in the moment and really upset, but the more I practice, the better I get at it. It's just like a muscle. The more you use it, the better you're gonna get. So I want you to try it with me for a minute, okay? I want all of you to just to sit in a chair if you can, or on the floor, and just rest your hands on top of your lap and just sit up nice and tall. And I want you can close your eyes if you want, or you can leave them open. But I just want you to just take a deep breath in through your nose. And then hold it for just a second or two. And then blow it out through your mouth. And when you blow it out, let it out as long as you can. Okay, ready? We're going to try it again. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose until you feel like you can't take in any more. Are you ready? Hold it and let it out. Okay, we're going to do one more of those. Are you ready? We're going to breathe in through our nose. Hold it. And out through your mouth. And that helps our glitter to settle, helps our prefrontal cortex to come into control, and our amygdala to calm down and let those thoughts flow on up to our prefrontal cortex. That's one tool that you can use. Another tool that you can use, you all have senses. I know you've been learning about them and you've heard me talk about them too. They're sort of like your hidden superhero power. In your body, you have senses that help you smell, that help you to see, that help you to hear, help you to taste. I want you to use those that help you to feel, to touch. I want you to use those for just a moment. I want you just to sit silently and see what you can hear right now. In the room around you, listen for the sounds that you can hear. Can you hear a ticking clock? Or voices maybe? Can you hear a car outside? What do you hear right now? Notice the way that your toes feel in your socks or your shoes, maybe on the ground. How does the carpet feel under your toes? You could put your hands on the top of your legs and notice, do your pants feel soft or do they feel scratchy? How does that feel under your fingers? And just really notice the way that feels for a moment. I want you to take a deep breath through your nose. Do you notice the smell of anything? Sometimes when there's something cooking or maybe there's smell that's not so great. Just notice what's in the air. Just notice any smells around you. When you're eating, I don't know if you have a snack around, you can put it in your mouth and really notice the way it tastes. If it's salty or sweet, if it's sour, just notice that. Notice the texture, how it feels in your mouth. And then you can look around the room. Look at the contrast in colors. My picture you can see behind me. Maybe you can see how many red bushes you can find. There's some lights lit up in that picture. Do you see the lights? See how many lights you can find. And I want you just to notice right now how you feel after using your senses to smell, to hear, to see colors and contrasts, to taste, to feel. That's another way that we can settle that glitter in our mind. All those thoughts that are spinning around just helps us come back to our senses, come back to our prefrontal cortex, and really be able to have access to that really awesome part of our brain that helps us be an awesome boss of ourselves and make really good decisions and be more careful about the things that we do. Okay? So I want you to think again about your brain. Here's another way to look at it. If you do your hands like this, okay? Right here on the top, these are the guys that, it's hard to get my hands right in the picture. These are the guys that, this is the part right here that we're going to pretend like that's our prefrontal cortex that's up top, and it's the boss, right? We want it to be the boss. It's a really important part. Say it with me, prefrontal cortex. You can do your hands like this too if you want. Okay, now notice down deep inside these pointer fingers right here, underneath the prefrontal cortex, that's our amygdala. Okay, tucked down deep inside of there. Amygdala is our watchdog. He's going to try to get us to fight, flight, or freeze. Whenever we've got all that glitter spinning around, he's going to tell us just to take off running. Or if we are mad because we don't want to do that math assignment, that amygdala might tell us just to go hide in the bathroom or start kicking our desk or being mean to our neighbor, right? Because that's what amygdala is going to do. He's going to just try to fix it in the moment without letting that thought go to our prefrontal cortex, right? And then our next fingers here in the middle, our middle fingers, those down deep also that's the hippocampus. Remember, hippocampus is the one that stores our memories. He's the one that helps us to remember what happened last time. He keeps track of those things that happened in the past because that also affects how we're going to feel and what we're going to think when that happens again, or things that are like that happen again, okay? So that gives you a better idea. Just to put it into perspective, I want you guys to think, I'm going to tell you a little story real quick. I want you to think about this. If you were walking through, I want you to imagine that you're walking through a forest, okay? It's a beautiful forest. It's an evening, the sun's just starting to go down, and it's warm, the sun's shining through the trees, and you're just having a really pleasant walk. Just feeling so happy and free, and it just, such a good feeling, and your glitter is all settled. You're having some really clear thoughts right now about things that you'd like to do, or decisions about, things that you'd like to work harder at, or goals that you want to set for yourself. Okay, and then you hear something. You hear something in the forest or on this trail, and you look back and you see a bear. You see a big brown bear back there, and all of a sudden, your heart starts beating like it's going to pound out of your chest, and your mind is racing so fast, and you just start running, and you are running and running and running. And I want you to think right now, what's the part of your brain that made you start running? Can you think of it? Can you name it? Amygdala. He's the guy that said, you better get out of here fast, or else that bear is going to eat you alive. And you took off running as fast as you could. You didn't even think about it. It was like it just happened like that. You didn't even get to send that message to your prefrontal cortex, because your amygdala just took over and sent you off running, and you were running as fast as you could, okay? Running and running. And then you look back again, and you noticed that bear wasn't getting any closer, and it looked a little different now. And so you started to slow down a little bit, and then you stopped and looked back again and realized, that was not a bear after all. That was a stump. It was a dead tree stump on the ground, and it looked like a bear. And oh my goodness. And then you can feel yourself. Your heart starts to slow down. Your mind starts to calm. And as you just stand there in the forest and listen to the trees, the leaves blowing, and the sound of the birds chirping, and you take a deep breath. You smell the pine. That glitter settles. And now we're back to our prefrontal cortex. And we recognize that we're safe. Everything's okay. We had that guard dog that tried to alert us. But that now we're here. We're back. We're back here, and we know we're safe and we're okay. That's how the system works. And now you know the words behind it all. I am excited to keep moving forward and working with this with you guys, and learning all about your brains and how things work inside, so that you can learn more about being a good boss of yourself, and how to use all this for your good and to help you be the best version of yourself. Have a good day, and I will talk to you next time.